Good morning, President Rogers, Commission members, and staff. I'm Eric Brunnemann, Superintendent of Pinnacles National Monument in the heart of Condor Country. As you know, Pinnacles National Monument has been a participant in the reintroduction program since 2003. In that time, my NPS staff have worked tirelessly with partners like U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Ventana Wildlife Society, the Institute for Wildlife Studies, and also our local ranching and hunting communities. Our goal remains the same: to reintroduce this majestic animal into its rightful place in our ecosystem. As I've said before, our biologists work with me to present the best, non-biased possible scientific data available on the health of our flocks, our successes, and also our mortality trends. To that end, I've worked with landowners, ranchers, hunters, and other agencies to reduce possible threats to these birds. A good example, for instance, is how we are working and continue to work with PG&E to reduce risks from electrical power lines. We're also working to inoculate our condors against new potential virus threats, including things like West Nile virus. It's for that reason I take it extremely seriously when my staff tells me that they have research that demonstrates poisonings are occurring to our flocks by a pathway from lead ammunition. I'm confounded that my biologists have told me that over the past 13 months we have had to perform emergency chelation treatment on 5 of our Park Service birds. What that tells me is that fully 1/3 of my flock has had to receive chelation treatments. On behalf of myself and Regional Director John Jarvis for the Pacific West region, the National Park Service supports amendments to Title 14 that support the use of non-lead ammunition. In closing, I'd like to quote a friend, our chief biologist at Pinnacles National Monument, who has reported before this commission: if there ever was a threatened and endangered species that benefits from hunting, it's the California condor. What I would ask as a manager is that amongst our hunting community, we now ask our hunters to use a tested and a viable tool within their hunting gear: non-lead solid copper bullets. That's the end of my prepared statement. I would like to ask if the Commission would be interested in cost estimates for field chelation at Pinnacles National Monument.
I'm certain we would, yes.
Very good. Keep in mind here, when an observation is made that there is a possibility for a condor feeding on a contaminated carcass and lead is in fact the suspected culprit, we're going to be involved in mobilizing my field crew, my scientists, and that will involve trapping, testing, holding, field chelation. We're not talking about going to the LA Zoo. This is within the park. We also may up the ante and work with veterinarians, and also radiographs may be involved. So the minimum footprint of this kind of mobilization over a 2-week period might involve about $3,500. Keep in mind what you saw in the video: condors don't hang around independently. They go in groups. They feed in groups. You can multiply that by how many birds we typically trap up. Our last official trap up involved 21 condors. A little quick math will tell you that came up to about $73,000. Thank you very much for your time.
Any questions? Thank you.
Appreciate it.